Yeah, I think you do that. Should be all right. I think you can still. I think so. Okay, thank you. I would like to thank the host MUST University, Professor Dr. Prem Kumar Raj Gopal, President of MUST. I would like to thank CLT Malaysia for sponsoring the goodie bags and souvenirs. Professor Muhammad Muhyiddin Haji Abdullah, FCL, President of Chartered Institute of Logistics Transport Malaysia. I would like to also give my special thanks to our honored guests here, Puan Habibah, Enod, Director of Oil and Gas Logistics Services Division from MIDA, Encik Nick Izzuddin bin Nick Muhammad Yusof, Director of Trade Investments and Strategic Planning Division from Invest Selangor, and all the way from Perlis, Encik Wan Zahid bin Wan Muhammad, MD CEO, Mutiara Perlis Vanderbilt, the owner of Perlis Inland Port. I would like to mention Datuk Muhammad Amir Kasim, the Chairman CLTM Selangor Branch, Muhammad Faiz Hakim bin Hussein, the Chairman International Business Forum IBF. Special thanks to the organizing committee from MAS, IBF Malaysia, CLTM Selangor, Section SCM Group Malaysia and Main Group, and last but not least, fellow members of SCM Group Malaysia. Right? A very good morning, right? A warm welcome, and thank you for your presence in this network event. I'm Albert Liao, the founder of SCM Group Malaysia, sat in the committee of both CLTM Selangor Section and IBF Malaysia. On behalf of SCM Group Malaysia and Main Group, we would like to give our sincere appreciation and heartfelt thanks to MAS for graciously allowing us and providing facilities to organize this event. Unfortunately, one of our admin members, Dr. Suresh, is down with COVID and could not attend this event. We would like to actually wish him speedy recovery. Right. And this is second time to be having this function organized after a lapse of more than 3 years, right? Where the first function was also held in MAS. Right? A memorable occasion it was indeed. Then the list of members today in this group has grown to be 265 as today, with the members from across the supply chain related industry covering education, training, consultation, logistics services providers, freighting, transportation, warehousing, and others involved in the movement of goods. We hope to grow in strength and numbers and continue to support the industry through sharing and helping in one way or the other. They are the essence of what IBF Malaysia believes, which we intend to further connect the SCM Group main members to global IBF members in CILT universe in 40 countries and counting worldwide. The COVID-19 pandemic has made SCM-related services more challenging, and at the same time has made us stronger to meet the demands of today and beyond. And as members of SCM Group, we believe in industry sharing practices and helping each other, be it providing information, giving guidance, or eventually becoming business partners. Right? The SCM admin group would like our fellow members to take this opportunity to introduce among yourselves and establish a stronger network for your future endeavors. With this, I would like to again express our sincere appreciation and thanks to MUST for allowing us to organize this occasion. Happy networking and thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albert. That was a wonderful speech. And we all know that, as our supply chains get agile, collaboration is key, right? So right now, we're supposed to have a keynote address. Haji Abdullah, who is the president of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, to give you his keynote. Let's, sir? I think I took my president by surprise. Sir, it's your turn, sir. Because Dr. Prem Kumar hasn't been able to, log in. Yeah, after this, sir, because we can't link up with him yet.
Thank you, Puan Reshma. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Yang Bursa, Mr. Albert Liu, founder SAM Group Malaysia. Mr. Jeffrey Williams, I think the rep for the president of the university, chairman of this Mutiara, and also the MD, Puan Biba from MIDA, and this from this Selangor Invest, from the Invest Selangor, and Dato' Amin, the president or the chairman of the Selangor section, and honorable guests. First and foremost, I would like to thank, firstly, MUST, I think, for hosting this event, the second professional networking event of Supply Chain Management Group Malaysia, and also the IBF under JFIS and the Selangor section, CLT Selangor section, under the leadership of Dr. Amin, for organizing this event. And would like to thank for inviting me for this occasion. I think what I want to do this morning is to briefly brief what CLT Malaysia is all about. Basically, CLT International has been around since 1990. And has been working with the profession ever since. We are now in over 40 countries worldwide. We provide education and training at all levels and in all sectors. We are professionals. In the First World War, that seen the failures of moving goods and vehicles. So the Institute of Transport was born. In 1926, Royal Charter by King George V, with himself as a patron and the Prince of Wales as an honorary president. In 1971, Chartered Institute of Transport was formed, and in 2001, it became the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. So, for Malaysia, I think this Chartered Institute of Transport has started in 1965. And in 2001, Malaysia has been given territorial rights from the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport International to take care of this, not only Malaysia, but also the Southeast Asia region. As for Malaysia, I think we have started quite well I mean, we have, at the moment, we have got about 10 states who are involved in this Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport courses. There is, and currently, we have got about 3,000 chartered members, and for the, sorry, and our objective of CRT is to collaborate with the government agencies, educational institutions, and industry players. So at the moment, as far as universities is concerned, we have got a collaboration with about 9 private universities and 15 government universities, and we have got about 7 training centers. And as far as education is concerned, we have worked closely with the universities in various sectors, and most of the universities they have got their own courses that they want, that they have carry out. Some are doing logistics, some doing transport, and some are doing supply chain. And most of the universities, they have got their own niche. For example, for the Kuala Lumpur University UniKL, so they are going to do the Center of Excellence for Community. And for MSU, they are going to do blockchain. And KM, Kuala Lumpur Metropolitan University and College, they are going to do the halal supply chain. Asia Pacific University, they are coming to become our training providers, and they are going to go for the green technology and cyber security. And there are a lot, I think there are a few more universities that are coming in to become our training providers. There are University Malaysia Sabah, Polytechnic Sabah, and then this MSU, APU, and then this KLMUC, and there are lately the Polytechnic of Johor Bahru. And then in CLT and Malaysia, we have got the education sector that is chaired by Dr. Zuraimi, who is from University Malaysia Kelantan, who looks after the accreditation of the courses that are being run by all the universities, and we audit to make sure that they run according to the requirements. And the second one, we have got this industry linkages committee, whereby this is a very important section, whereby I think at the moment every year we are producing about 400 to 600 graduates. So we are looking into working with the industry and any government link company, so that to make sure that they have the opportunity to do their practical training, and also to get jobs while after graduating. And on top of that, we have got the IBF, Industry Business Forum, whereby so far we have been organizing with the Industry Business Forum over a few important events. The first one is the Asian Ports and Shipping Exhibition that was held in early this year, that is in February. And then the second one is the BIMP, YAGA, that is the Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Philippines, East Asia Growth Area. It was carried out on the 2nd of August in Sabah. And then the third one, we are going to have an event in Vietnam. We are collaborating with the transport event. There will be in the Asia Ports and Shipping Exhibition that will be held on the 25th till the 27th October in Vietnam. And then the next one will be our international conference that will be held in the 22nd to the 24th of October in Perth, Australia. And the other incoming event is the BIMP, IAGA, on the 21st to 23rd February in Jakarta, Indonesia. And apart from that, we have got the women in logistics. The women in logistics is to make sure that the women who are involved in the logistics and transport sector will be given awareness about the importance of this transport and logistics and also supply chain. And I think we call it WILAT. I think this women in logistics has been very active, and they have been looking after the universities. No doubt they have been with us for some time. So we normally follow up the requirements or the needs of the universities that we are supposed to facilitate. And then the other one is the next gen. The next generation is for the younger generation, the professional. I think now there are a lot of professionals, the young professionals who are involved in all kind of different business. I take, for example, some of them are in the, of course, in the IoT, whereby most of them are doing, more on technology, and then also they are involved in various other new technology that we have got to go with, so that that will be relevant to our industry. And our first objective is to collaborate with the government agencies, educational institutions, and industry players. So far we have been collaborating with quite a number of government companies or government agencies. I take, for example, we already have MOU with MIDE. I think MIDA, we have been visiting MIDA last couple of months. And then MIROS, MATRADE, MARA, GIAC-MARA, PFM Global Ventures, who is specialized in the halal supply chain. And then the Malaysia Green Technology, we are having a collaboration in the green technology, focusing on EV, electric vehicle, but more on training of the technician and mechanic. And then HDC, of course, we have signed with HDC to promote the halal business or halal supply chain to other parts of the world. The 40 countries that are associated with CIT Malaysia. So we have signed a memorandum of understanding with HDC back in November at Dubai, where the first training was done there. So we inshallah will be having an event in UK in the month of December. And on top of that, we also, apart from the government agencies, we are also working closely with the industry, because I believe it is very important. They could, so far we have got about 55 corporate members where we work closely with them. So I think the latest is Mutiara from Perlis. They're being just joined as our corporate member, and inshallah we'll be working very closely with Mutiara Perlis, because Kuala Lumpur University happen to be one of our training providers. Then they are developing a very big logistics center in just beside Mutiara Perlis. So I think this is another thing that we should look into, and I hope all those industries or companies are involved in logistics and transport, maybe can participate or can facilitate or working together to the successful of the center. And then on top of that, CLT Malaysia, as I mentioned earlier, is a territorial body. So lately there was a request from Burma and Vietnam they want to form up their CLT section in their country, but they cannot go on their own because there is nobody in Burma or Vietnam has this charter in order to form a center or a section or in a country. The committee, the protest committee must be a chartered member. So what they have got to do is they've got to come into Malaysia, to come under Malaysia to become a chartered member, about 10 of them, then they can later form their section in their country. And then on top of that, we are also being appointed as the industry lead body for Kementerian Pengangkutan, that is MOT, Ministry of Transport, and also the Human Resource Ministry. So I think at the moment we are working closely with the Ministry of Transport, whereby I think 4 of our committees are in their working committee. There's, I think, Puan Reshma is under the dangerous goods. Okay. There are a few more, I think. And then as far as the Human Resource Ministry is concerned, we are doing this on the upskilling and training for the corporate the staff, the corporate members, and also the universities. And then on top of that, to become a member, I think this membership, what we are so far there are 3 types of members. The students, for the students that did that do the courses for logistics, transport, and supply chain. So once that they graduate, they have got two certificates. One they are diploma from their university, and the other one is a member Institute of Logistics and Transport Malaysia. And after that, after working, after 5 years, they will be given a chartered member from the institute. And then on top of that, we have got the chartered member of Institute of Logistics and Transport, and also the fellowship chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. So I think as we go through the market, actually there are a lot of people in the industry that can be, that can be given, or that apart from direct membership, there are also opportunities for them to do this chartered, to be a chartered member through a program we call it 4+1. Normally through PQE, through the universities, we have got to do 13 subjects plus 1. You got to do presentation, but then we have the education committee and the council members have decided to give a shortcut to do this chartered, because of their qualification, their experiences, and so those. And then there are also members that apply direct to chartered to CIT, and we feel that they are capable. So normally we award them with a chartered membership. So I would appeal to the members or to the guests today. I would appreciate if most of the industries that are around in KL or anywhere to be our corporate members, so that we can work together for for the good of the logistic transport industry in Malaysia. And at the moment, we not only provide opportunities for the we also provide universities for the Navy, Armed Forces, and also the Air Force. So far, I think for the Navy, I think 200 of them, the officers in Lumut, have been given. So they do the 4+1 courses, and I think 200 members have been given chartered. And lately, the Armed Forces, about 10 of them was given, and I think many more. So I think there are a lot more areas that we are going to look into. I mean, lately we went to the Jabatan Laut, so I think the pengarah has already so the need to so that they can go for the chartered name. So I hope what I'm trying to say today, so that I think CILT offered our through IBF, through CILT Malaysia, to work closely together with all of you to make sure that I think the industry will move into a greater height. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dato' President, for that wonderful speech. I would like to add a little bit, if you don't mind, sir. Can I add in a little bit with regards to CILT? So first and foremost, before I add in a little bit more on CILT, I'd like to first apologize on behalf of Dr. Prem. He's unable to dial in with us today because he's not feeling well. So we'll continue with the program, but I'd just like to add a little bit because I see this room filled up with people, and that's awesome. Thank you very much. I've got to stand on my toes, sorry. And, but I see very few women. Yeah, very few women. So as my president has spoken, CILT is a professional body. Now the professional body caters for everybody's needs. We have needs for women. WILAT is pretty much established for empowerment of women. That is exactly what we want. We want to see more women join us, especially in the Selangor section. Since you can see my chair, she's sitting right there, my wife's chair. She's unable to give you a speech because she's not well. So you know this COVID and flu. Dr. Harlina, do you mind, ma'am? Can you please stand up for a little while so we can all see our WILAT chair? So as you know, in our Selangor section, we have two amazing people running as well. We have Dr. Amin, sir. Do you mind, sir? Can you stand for everybody's benefit? So he's our state sections chair from Selangor, and I know everybody here is pretty much from Selangor. And Selangor has got some plans to get all our members in, and we're calling our female members. Please, ladies, I know we have some amazing women in Selangor that are also our charter members. Even if you are not, join us. You can join WILAT. It's relatively easy to join WILAT. The charter membership takes a little bit. I'm pretty sure all of you would qualify, to be honest. However, for those who aren't yet, but for women, we are making it a lot easier for you to join. We want to see women representation in this field. There are many of us, so let's get them in. All right, that was my little two-bit that I wanted to add in with regards to CILT. And the two other forums, of course, as you know, Next Gen, the president told you about, that's to engage the youth. The youth are the people that are coming up with startups and new technologies in this field. So we want to cultivate them. And of course, IBF, which is where we are today. This is where we connect. I can personally share stories, but we'll take that for another session, how IBF has actually connected companies and networked all of us. So now, to continue with the program today, now I'm going to go off from the rostrum, get back on the floor as the MC. Excuse me while I do that. I'd like to call upon now Yang Berusaha, Puan Habibah Enoch from MIDA, to give her piece and presentation with regards to the oil and gas logistics. Is it oil and gas logistics? Okay, all right, never mind. Let's take a look at her presentation. Thank you, ma'am, for coming in.
Thank you, Reshma. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Okay, let me first introduce myself. I'm Habibah. I'm the director of the Oil and Gas, Maritime and Logistic Services Division. But today, I'm going to talk about investment opportunities in logistic industry in Malaysia. Okay, never mind. First of all, I'm not sure. I think maybe many of you know what MIDA is already. But for those who never heard of MIDA, MIDA stands for Malaysian Investment Development Authority. And we are the government's principal investment promotion agency for the development of the manufacturing and services sectors in Malaysia. Okay, we promote FDI, foreign direct investment. We also promote domestic investment, and in the earlier years, our focus was more on industries or manufacturing sectors. However, we have expanded our coverage and cover services sector, and that includes the logistic sector. I think that's better. I'm sorry about this technical glitch, okay? We were, no. Okay, something, never mind. Okay, and we have offices in the main cities all over the world. We have 20 overseas offices. And we have also 14 state offices, meaning we have an office in each state except for Perlis, which is taken care by our Kedah offices. And I have missed this, I'm sorry. This is our main function, okay? The first one is planning. We plan for industrial development. We recommend for policies. And we formulate strategies, programs and initiatives for international economic cooperation, and we undertake industrial studies. And for the promotion, evaluation, implementation, compliance and facilitation, actually it is the investors' journey. When investors, when they plan to come to MIDA, they come to us. Usually they come to us and ask us for any facilitation that we have. And they will come to MIDA to get manufacturing license and also maybe incentives if there are any. And after that, we will keep on facilitating companies, if there are any issues with the PBTs or maybe issues with tax, with labor, with immigration, with custom, with utilities. Because MIDA, we're also acting like one-stop center where we have reps from custom, TNB, immigration, telecom. These four, they are located in MIDA. We also work very closely with MITI, MOF, LHDN, JTK, and DOE. Okay, on the logistic industry. This is, I don't think I have to touch this, okay? We are running out of time, okay? I'm sure all of you are very much aware of this. And, okay, this is MIDA's role in the development of logistic industries. Again, the main function of MIDA is to attract investment, and for us to be able to carry out our duty, we work together with other government ministries, agencies, and we provide companies to gather information and come up with formulation of incentive or facilitation for local companies to increase their capabilities, competency, and trade compliance levels. Develop investment value target for regional e-fulfillment hub and encourage strategic investment by local companies via venture capital. Okay, this is the some history on the development of incentive for the logistic industry. In 2001, in budget, the country's budget 2001, the cold chain facilities was introduced. At that point of time, companies providing cold room and refrigerated truck facilities and related services, such as collection and treatment of local produced perishable food products, are not given any tax incentive. To encourage companies to provide such facilities, cold chain facilities were given. Okay, and in 2002. That's why I mentioned just now, our focus, our expansion on the services sector started in the year 2000. Before that, it was mainly on industry, on manufacturing. In 2002, the integrated logistics services incentives was introduced. I will talk on detail about it later. And International Integrated Logistics Services IILS status was introduced in 2008, and the DISF grant in 2012. In 2017, we introduced the Digital International Integrated Logistics Services and also the second round in IILS. However, it's no longer available. It has stopped. And the Industry Intervention Fund and Smart Automation Grant FAG. This one also, due to an overwhelming interest, the program has reached its fund capacity and is put on pause. We shall wait for any good news in the coming budget. Okay, let's hope for the best. Okay, now I go more detail to the incentive. The first one is the Integrated Logistics Services Incentive. It is a 5-year tax incentive to companies providing IRS services, and it is a pioneer status of 70% on the statutory income and investment tax allowance of 60% on additional capex. And the eligibility criteria is, of course, the first one, applicant must register with SSM, and equity, it must be 60% Malaysian. And for infrastructure, company must, minimum infrastructure, company must own at least 20 units commercial vehicles and also 5 square meters of warehouse. In addition to that, companies must undertake 3 principal activities: the freight forwarding, warehousing, transportation, and at least one of the following activities, that is distribution or other related and value-added services activities, supply chain management. Okay, the next one is the International Integrated Logistics Services IILS. The eligibility criteria is incorporated under the Companies Act. It is compulsory attendance to the custom agent course conducted by the Royal Malaysian Custom Department, employ majority Malaysian, and preference must be given to local professionals. There's no equity condition, meaning 100% foreign owned is allowed. Substantial research of ICT infrastructure, have a good network abroad, must obtain MNC status approval, and must manage, not own, must manage minimum assets and operate all activities in integrated manner, 20 commercial vehicles and 5,000 square meter of warehouse space. With this status, companies can get custom agent license. Okay. Next is on the cold chain facilities. Companies undertaking cold chain facilities provide a wide range of services, including cold room, refrigerated truck, and other related services, such as the collection, storage, and distribution of perishable local agricultural products. And the tax incentive for new company, its pioneer status of 70% on statutory income, or ITA of 60% of qualifying capex. For existing company, its pioneer status of 70% on the increased statutory income arising, or ITA of 60% on additional capex. On qualifying income, it must be derived from the provision of cold room facilities, refrigerated transportation, and other related services for cold agricultural products. Eligible applicant, incorporated company under the Companies Act, and the applicant must be an independent service provider. And eligible activities, the provision of cold room facilities or refrigerated transportation for local agricultural product or locally produced processed product. Okay, I'm just sharing this with you. The performance based on our approval data of companies who come to MIDA, either to get incentive or to get the IILS status. For June 2022, we have approved 13 companies with total investment of 995.5 million. Okay, way forward. We can see that the global logistic industry is becoming more complex and sophisticated due to the niche demands from various industry sectors. Companies are looking for logistics service providers which can offer total logistics solution and efficient end-to-end service. And these emerging trends are due to the increase in global trade activities and globalization of business through uplifting trade barriers and enhancing trade relations. And we can see there are opportunities, okay, for Malaysia to become as a regional hub in the future, okay, with the ongoing US-China trade war, and the fact that Malaysia has successfully attracted several multinational companies to establish its regional operations here, such as BMW, Volkswagen, IKEA, Daikin, Osram. And the spillover created by this establishment over the years have motivated the government to continue enhancing strategic initiatives through policy advocacies, infrastructure development to create an ideal business ecosystem, and strengthening trade relation to further entice the establishment of regional hubs in the country. And also, the East Coast Railway Line, the project is another major initiative by the government towards building world-class logistic infrastructure to support international trade activities in Malaysia. Okay, next, and this is going to be my last slide. Okay, under the 12 Malaysian Plan, transport logistics sector is to be further strengthened, and the target is 10% increase in cargo volume, top 10 rankings of the World Container Ports Report, and the top 30 ranks in the World Bank Logistic Performance Index. Because right now we have fallen to number 41. Okay, all right. Okay. I guess that's all. If there's any question, okay, you can either contact me and we will have, 1 more minute. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Please take your time. Sure, it's okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for showing how much of effort is done by our governments to enhance and, help us out, increase the logistics activities in this country. Anyway, coming back to our second speaker now, we have Inche Nick Izzuddin, who is the Director of Trade and Investment and Strategic Planning Division for Invest Selangor. So the gentleman who we will be talking to get some funding from. Over to you, Mr. Nick. Please come on stage.
So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. First of all, thank you so much for inviting us today from CLT, SEM, and also MUST. Since it's MUST, then we must come, right? There's no way around it, right? So, so glad to be here. My name is Nick Izzuddin from Invest Selangor. My role in Invest Selangor is mainly on the trade investment, looking after ecosystem development and also strategic planning or corporate strategy for Invest Selangor. I think first question is that any one of you who are not from Selangor or are not coming from Selangor? So all Selangorian, all Selangor residents, tak ada. I was born in Kelantan, by the way, so right, Ipoh, right. So MUST in Selangor and CLT Selangor. And then welcome from Perlis. So after this your show, so we want to share a bit on what we are doing right now for Invest Selangor. A quick snapshot in terms of what we are doing, like I mentioned earlier, and what Selangor government is doing right now, specifically for logistic industry. And very timely that the presentation by Maida just now have shown what currently been doing at the federal level. And right now I'm showing to you what we are doing at the state level. Okay? About Invest Selangor. So Invest Selangor is an investment promotion agency. Our role is, in a layman term, straightforward. We need to bring as many investment into Selangor and create jobs in the respective industry, and to ensure that the current industry in Selangor continue to be given support for continuous operation in the state. Right? We have been established since 1999. So dah tua dah, so 1999, and we were the first IPA, Investment Promotion Agency in the country, and then after that, many others investment promotion agency at the state level, been established after that. So, and therefore, we always been working closely with MIDA, because at the end of the day, whoever that invests or which company that invests in Selangor is actually investing in Malaysia. So we need to work closely with MIDA, and we continue to do so. And also in terms of friendly, I would say, commitment and also pursue or collaboration with other IPAs across the country to ensure that we continue to promote Malaysia as a location for investment. Okay? So Invest Selangor, our office in Shah Alam. So next one, a quick snapshot. I believe everybody is aware about this. Sharing with you that Selangor continues to be the main contributor for the GDP of Malaysia. 24.8 has been increasing last year about 0.4. It was 34.4 if I can recall correctly, and last year 2021 it was 34.8. So our plan is hopefully in the next 2-3 years we're going to achieve 25%, so a quarter of the GDP, right? Most populated state in Malaysia, as we are in right now, right? Good and bad, and I think at the end of the day it's about how Invest Selangor and the Selangor state to continue to bring companies set up over here and provide jobs opportunities to all Malaysian. And also when you go back to the sector that we are looking at right now, 32% of the manufacturing GDP to Malaysia is actually coming from Selangor, which is the highest, and also 26% of the national service sector GDP coming from Selangor. So from these two numbers, Selangor has been known as a manufacturing-driven state, right? And since last year, due to the pandemic, at Invest Selangor, together at the state level, which I will explain to you a bit more, that we need to put more effort to other industries as well, specifically on the services industry, and therefore we have introduced, not to say that it's something new, but we are committed to put more our effort and resources in the two new services industry, which include logistics and supply chain, and also digital. So we have the manufacturing side, and also now we have two services industries that we are putting more in terms of effort and initiative. All right? No need to explain, this is our strength in terms of the air connectivity, in terms of road connectivity, sea connectivity, and also in terms of rail connectivity. I think on the rail side, I think everything has been, I think it's very much, pretty much all of you are well, aware about all these advantages. But I think I would like to touch a bit on the rail perspective. From the rail connectivity is one thing about the ECRL that has decided the alignment at the north side, coming to Serenda and coming to the west port and north port and also west port, is something that we are working closely with MIDA and MRL to make sure that the development continue to flourish. To connect from the east coast to the west coast is something that has been confirmed. And also the rail industry, from one angle, is actually in Selangor itself, we have about 85% of the rail industry, or rail industry and also assets in Malaysia actually located in Selangor. So something that we are looking into potential on how logistic industry can leverage on rail moving forward. And of course, with the rest of the, whether in terms of air, sea, and also road, there will be continuous improvement that we have in place right now. And also, I think in terms of volume, as we know, we continue to facilitate the biggest number or biggest percentage in terms of international trade through Port Klang, and also Port Klang has always been the biggest market share in terms of ecosystem or in terms of TEUs that have been going through. And probably CLT also can verify also, in terms of we need and we continue to have the biggest number of employment in terms of logistics industry, and this is where I think we need to make sure that we are able to provide the right people and with the right quantity with regards to logistics. Okay? What we are doing right now in terms of logistics industry through Invest Selangor and also through Invest Selangor by the state government of Selangor, right? So from that side, okay, all this on this side in terms of development of seaport in Pulau Keri. Probably we have heard about the possible proposed third port in Pulau Keri. West Port 2 expansion project, Serenda Logistics Hub, which is I mentioned just now in terms of ECRL alignment, and also Pulau Indah Free Trade Zone. All these has already been documented as part of our plan to enhance the logistic ecosystem in Selangor. And this is part of the Rancangan Selangor 1. If just now Puan Habibah mentioned about RMK 12, so Selangor has started this year with Rancangan Selangor 1. We call it RS1. So this is a document that looks after the development of Selangor in the next 5 years. And I will show you later on the detail, but the snapshot on the logistic industry for RS1 for the next 5 years, these are the major, I would say, major initiative that we have within the state of Selangor, right? Of course, as CRDC over here, we continue to work with them, and I think this is timely, and that's why I'm here today. Would like to engage more with CLT into how we can work together, right, in terms of providing the right talent for logistics. Developing engagement platform. So this is where we started this year that we have conversation and also discussion with logistic industry. So we have started this year. We're supposed to have twice, and we plan to have another one before the end of the year to make sure that we continue to provide the ecosystem. And with this input, we channel back to the state government, as we know that now we have the RS1 in place for us to continue with the program that I mentioned earlier on the left-hand side. And then one of the output that we're going to have from the engagement platform is the white paper on logistic industry in Selangor. So this one, sharing with you, I have not seen the final draft yet. It's already sent to me, but I have not seen the white paper of the logistic industry. So probably in the next few weeks, we should be able to share with all of you about the white paper on logistic industry in Selangor and how we are addressing some of the issues that we're facing, okay? And of course, on the other side of things, in terms of fulfillment, in terms of e-commerce, that we run initiative around this area. When more e-commerce, there are more traffic, and more logistic services are required, right, from that angle. So these are the things that we are doing right now through Invest Selangor and by the Selangor State Government. And I think some of the industry are some of the snapshot that we have right now. And people are, many companies are coming in. Right? Recently, 2 weeks back, Daiwa just launched their expansion. ALP gonna have their opening ceremony in 2 weeks' time, if I can recall correctly. Logos also launched a few months back. And more interests are coming in right now in logistics center. And whoever that been in Selangor that long, so probably we saw last time, Shah Alam, for example, more on the manufacturing side, E&E, and now becoming more on the logistic hub. So new things come in, and then sharing with you also, spoke to one of the MBSA people yesterday, one of the director, and said, okay, Shah Alam used to be in E&E park, right? And now becoming a logistic park. So new problem come in, right? Why? More 40-footers coming in. We need a better maintenance on the route right now in Shah Alam because of more logistic company being set up. So therefore, going back to this initiative what you're doing right now, maintaining infrastructure, connectivity with regards to the level of roads that we have is very, very important to ensure that we continue to attract investors to come in, okay? And coming back to that also that I mentioned about Rancangan Selangor, this is the last part of my slides. Very, very important for the Selangor state to make sure that for the next 5 years we continue to be the state that livable, prosperous, and we have identified these 4 strategic themes. First of all, it's about business, economy. We need this because we need to create jobs to our Malaysian. Social inclusivity and well-being, advancing sustainability, these all the SDG, ESG, all the part over there, and also in terms of effective governance. So, 4 strategic themes. Under the strategic themes number 1, strategic economy, so the first one is port and logistic. Why? Because this industry is very important for the state, and therefore we putting up all effort that we can in terms of making sure that the industry continue to flourish, whether from the angle of talent development, infrastructure maintenance, and also providing the right incentive to the players. Okay. With that, this will be my last slide. If you want to have the slide, scan the QR code. You can get the slide straight away. Right? There's nothing to hide from there, and more than happy to answer any question if any. With that, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nick Ozdin. Very happy to be a Selangorian. Yeah? Wonderful things being done. But we should continue to listen to what is happening everywhere else. And with that, I'd like to actually invite Yang Berusa Encik Wan Zahid bin Wan Muhammad, who is the Managing Director and the CEO for Mutiara Perlis Sdn Berhad on the Perlis Inland Port. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Rashma Yusof, our host today. Datuk Muhyiddin, our President, CILT Malaysia President. Mr. Albert Liao, SRC Founder. Mr. Jeffrey William, representative of the President of MUST, Dato Dr. Muhammad Amin, President of CLT Selangor Section, my comrade Cik Ni Izzuddin, I'm from Kelantan as well, from Invest Selangor, Puan Habibah of Maida, my colleague and mentor, Abbas Bilgrami, our chairman of Board of Advisors, ladies and gentlemen, probably students as well here. Thank you for having us in this, I would say, very highly charged area for Malaysia. Logistics, of course, is our mainstay. I think we've gone very far from being agrarian, manufacturing. We are actually serving the world, very much export-driven, very well positioned in the maritime sector. But we are also quite well positioned in the intraland. That's why I am here today, to at least share what we believe is another area of Malaysian competitive edge. Although it will start in a very remote area in Peninsula, at a very far end in the north, in a small state of Perlis. So for the first page, I give you the launching ceremony, that were the launching of PIP and Bonded Road. This ceremony was held earlier this year on the 15th of March. You can have a look at the more pictures of it in the NCIA IG and also our Perlis Inland Port IG. In fact, it was very well covered by our Prime Minister's Instagram. Text from PM's speech, which is, I would think, give the flavor of why we are embarking on this project in Perlis. Next slide, please. Oh, sorry, I have this with me. I'm sorry. Okay. A little bit introduction about our company, Mutiara Perlis. It is an SPV between our side, Mutiara Infra Sdn Bhd, and the state of Perlis via Menteri Besar Incorporated. It is a private state partnership, and the idea of this joint venture is actually to harness Perlis' geostrategic potential. When we embarked on this project, we weren't looking at logistics. That's, to be honest with you, we are not the expert in this, nor do we have qualification for logistics. But when we did this, we were looking at how to help Perlis with the little infrastructure that they have. How do we enhance Perlis? How do we become better? How do we become more independent? As it is, Perlis relied so much on the help of Ministry of Finance for even government servant salaries. So that has to change, and we look at rail, connectivity to Langkawi, and also our proximity to Kingdom of Thailand, which we believe there are still areas that we can do in terms of services or logistical need that might be needed by both southern Thais and also northern Malaysian states. So that's how we came about. The first project that we are embarking is Perlis Inland Port, which we hope to be completed by fourth quarter of 2024. And later on, we will continue with our second project, which is a new jetty to replace Kuala Perlis. And hopefully, Kedah government will be agreeable that Perlis jetty will also replace Kuala Kedah. And there is a reason for it, why this project is of beneficial to both states. Thirdly, we have Perlis Power Hub, which we are embarking together with Petronas Gas and Tenaga Nasional Generating Company. That will be a bit later in 2025. A bit of introduction to the team in Mutiara Perlis. We normally don't put this for the public knowledge, especially in presentation like this, but we were told that it is important to know who are the people behind such a project. So I've put the board members so that you will know there's nobody fishy in the team or somebody with poor track record in the country. So we have there our chairman, Datuk Shabaruddin Ibrahim, formerly Group Chief Internal Auditor of Petronas at the group level. Datuk Shabaruddin also hails from Kelantan, Sheikh Nik Izzuddin. So there are plenty of Kelantan origin in the group, apart from myself. So I guess there's something that we can do together, Cik Nik, in Selangor later on, Perlis and Selangor, and we bring our Kelantan buddies from ECRL to Serendah. We have Encik Zulkafli Ahmad, the Chief Executive Officer of MBI, Perlis, which is the investment arm of Perlis government. MBI, you probably know, Menteri Besar Incorporated. So he's the representative for the state holding 20% in Mutiara Perlis. And my rest of the colleagues, Amir Abdullah, our Executive Director, Chartered Accountant by profession, Arif Rida, our Executive Director, also a Chartered Accountant, both half Kelantan, half Terengganu. Last but not least, one from Selangor, our lead engineer, Aris Abdul Halim. So there is some Selangor guy at last in the group. So far, only one Perlis, but we have another Perlis gentleman in the group who is the one of our board of advisors. I would say he was Puan Habibah former boss. Datuk Azman Mahmud was recently the Chief Executive Officer of MIDA. So upon his retirement, we asked for his blessing to be included into our board of advisors, not just because he's a MIDA former CEO, but because Datuk Azman need to make up the Perlis contingent in the group. So Datuk Azman is from Perlis. So we have another Perlisian in the group. We can't have so many Kelantanese, it's not fair for Perlis, yeah? And we have 3 international members. This is where we are trying to get more talent into the group, because like I mentioned earlier, we are not an expert in logistics. We need more people, we need human capital, we need ideas, not just locally, but also internationally. Of course, we are also getting some help from Encik Faiz Hakim, Dr. Harlina, who have visited our place. So we will probably add more Malaysian from the academia into our team. But at the moment, we have Professor Dr. Ruth Banomiong, Dean of Thammasat Business School, I think a very close buddy of Dr. Harlina. Dr. Ruth is helping us on matters for Southeast Asia. And also, one that is critical for us is the point of view of Thai side to our project. Because we can't be doing this in isolation. We have to look how Thai view Perlis Inland Port and our effort in Malaysia side, whether it is helpful for Thai cause, or would it be detrimental for their own planning, for their land bridges, for their upgrading of their ports and all that. So we need to have someone of that stature in the group. And of course, we have our chairman today, Abbas Belgrami, from South Africa. Abbas is in the world of gas and energy. Abbas is speakers all over the world. So Abbas is helping us in particular on energy side. But of course, Abbas has also experience in ports related to energy. Last but not least, we have someone from, again, another one from South Africa, Mr. Luigi Serafino. The reason for Luigi to be in our board of advisors is because we are looking at the similarities between our project to what's happening in South Africa. Most of the South African development councils, SADC countries, such as Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, they are connected via rail to Durban Port in South Africa. All of them evacuate their goods, their minerals, their cobalt, zinc, nickel, which is important for batteries these days, are all transshipped via South African ports, in particular Durban. So we would like to try something of similar nature with Perlis with regards to China, Laos, Thailand, and of course Thailand is also connected to Myanmar in the north, Cambodia and Vietnam to the eastern corridor of Thailand, the EEC development that is happening in a big way in Thailand. So we need someone who have done it, who can lend a hand in our effort here in Perlis. So the location of key Perlis project of national significance. There are plenty of projects in Perlis, but I'm only highlighting the key ones that would be beneficial at national level, in particular of our own project, Perlis Inland Port. So I'm sure you know Padang Besar. For those who goes to Hat Nyai, they will probably go either Padang Besar or Bukit Kayu Hitam. This is where our double track ends in the north. And then it is continued with Thai single track all the way to Bangsa station in Bangkok. And the station would also go up north to Udon Thani and Nong Khai. It ends there just before Mekong River. So I will go further later in the next slide, but now I'm just focusing on Peninsular Malaysia. So Padang Besar, rail will go to Penang, offload lots of rubber-related products to be evacuated via Penang port. It ends in China, Taiwan, on the Far East ports. Some goods now, they are also going all the way to Port Klang, simply because of the issue with the COVID-19. It caused all this disruption. Containers are difficult to come by. So most of the empty containers are actually now available by the major shipping lines in Port Klang. Hence, there are more movement from Padang Besar to Port Klang. So we will also be bringing goods to Port of Tanjung Lepas if there is a need for it, or to Pasir Gudang for the Singaporean bound product. Other than Perlis Inland Port, we also have the Perlis Maritime Corridor. This is facing Langkawi to serve Langkawi. This is another logistical related project that I would think, apart from PIP, I can also inform the members of the floor the reason for this project. The Perlis Maritime Corridor in the coastline of Perlis is the only stretch that is protected by Langkawi Island. So unfortunately for Kedah, below Perlis is all open sea. So it is actually cheaper for building a port, a jetty, without having to do a breakwater in Perlis. And the Kuala Sanglang, the Sanglang area, which is bordering Kuala Sanglang of Kedah, is the last stretch that is protected, but it is also the closest to the depth that is required to go to Langkawi. Hence, we are embarking on this one. But this jetty project is not easy because the current jetties, Kuala Kedah and Kuala Perlis, are actually surviving because the government is putting money into it. Dredging costs, 30 million a year, 2 million operating loss. So 32 million a year is lost just like that on dredging. So the jetty that we are building would render dredging to be something of the past. We will go to the depth and build something more tangible for the long-term survival of Langkawi. Langkawi need more logistical support for it to grow, for it to be cost-effective, and for Perlis also to go beyond their Kuala Perlis facility, which is small. They cannot go further. If you go to Kuala Perlis, the berth for Ro-Ro is actually filled. You cannot add the 7th or the 8th Ro-Ro in that area because there's no more space. One vessel goes to Langkawi, one must come back here because there's no space in Langkawi either. So this new effort is being formulated. But of course, first of all, we're going to start with Perlis Inland Port. That's the low-hanging fruit for us because the business is huge in the movement of cargo from southern Thailand. So that will be our first foray into Perlis. The other project in Perlis, next to our Perlis Inland Port, is the Chuping Valley Industrial Area. This is our hinterland for Perlis Inland Port. We cannot rely entirely on Thai cargo or China cargo, Perlis, for its long-term survival, we need to generate our own cargo as well. So the government is putting 2,500 acres of land for industrial park. They are completing the phase 1 of the industrial park, the first 500 acres. Out of 2,500, they're going to complete next month. So it is ready for consumption next month. Then next to it, exactly next to the border of Chuping Valley, is the Perlis Power Hub. The proximity to Thai border is the reason why this place is chosen. And the third project, which is on a bigger tract of land, 11,800 acres, is FGV Sakfelda. I'm sorry, I did not redo this. It's actually FGV, Integrated Farming. They are partnering a global dairy company called Balatna from Qatar. They signed their joint venture agreement only last month. So they will start in a couple of months' time. And they will also be actually our client at Perlis Inland Port, because they will have to export their milk and dairy product to Bangkok. That's one of their target market. And also for it to flow down to Klang Valley via the rail connectivity by KTM. This is probably a place very familiar to all the logisticians. This is Padang Besar, and there is a facility here under MMF, Multimodal Freight Sdn Bhd, a company under KTMB. It's sitting on a 12-acre land. It is full to the brim, and for Malaysia long-term logistic aspiration, this place is no longer fit. So we are building the Perlis Inland Port further down, about 4.47 kilometer from this bonded road to Perlis Inland Port. So this is a 500-acre facility. A big leap, I would say. A big leap from 12 acres to 500 acres. So to put the 500 acres into perspective, Lat Krabang in Bangkok, when they started this in 1984, that's almost 40 years ago, they started with 300 acres. So now they are building, not they, I mean, they here is SRT. It's SRT owned facility at Lat Krabang. But other shipping lines are moving out of Lat Krabang because they are lacking space. One company probably need 300 acres just for themselves. So we are starting with 500 acres. When we started this, we thought it's a bit too much, it's a bit too big, too ambitious. But as we learn the trade, as we gather information from the players, they say if we are looking at China market, we need this space. Unless we are only happy with southern Thailand cargo. So of course, we will have to look beyond southern Thailand to China, and China is even looking beyond that to Europe. Maybe we should not touch Europe at this point, but at least we should be looking at the benefit of the connectivity between Vientiane and Kunming, that is already operational as of December last year, to bring China cargo via Malaysian network, whether it is Singapore bound or going away from Singapore ports or PTP, it doesn't matter, as long as it passes through Malaysian system. So at least we can get some benefit out of it. We have the government rezoning of this area as well, because this will be a new urban area for Padang Besar. So the best immediate place will be here for the new inland port. Padang Besar need to grow in a different way as well, apart from having all these containers and trucks moving around here. We have academia involvement as well, apart from Tamasat, when I mentioned earlier. We have Tamasat helping us on some of our studies. We will have University Kuala Lumpur. They have just purchased 60 acres right in front of our gate here. UniKL will set up a new campus called Asia Sustainable Transport Institute. So I would think that is quite visionary on UniKL to look beyond Malaysia. In fact, they put it as Asia, and very well thought as well, because they put the campus as sustainable. So from our engagement with various shipping lines, what they are trying to do these days is to have a net zero carbon footprint as they go in doing their business. So for these companies to be net zero, let's say 2030, 2040 or 2050, big changes must be taken. For instance, all those trucks coming from China, Vientiane, Laos and Bangkok need to be migrated. So it cannot be trucked for 3,000 kilometers. So if they are really going for net zero, they have to migrate to rail, in particular, if they are looking at intraland, with a saving of about 80 to 85% net emission. There's still some emission from our diesel loco, but of course, as we go along, they'll be electrified. And as it is with our diesel locomotive, the savings is quite tremendous at 80% to 85% CO2 emission. So that is a big leap for some companies who are going towards net zero in the next decade or so. So we have all this collaboration. I'm afraid to use the term, but is it okay, Dr. Harina, to use quad helix for this? Quad helix, yeah. So I wanted to put that word, but I'm worried I might get it wrong academically. So this is the more or less the 500 acres development in Perlis Inland Port. At phase 1, we're starting a bit small. The demand is there, but we are, I would say, a bit cautious. We will start with only 3 rail sidings, 2 for loading, 1 for service. We will only start with reach stackers, although there are demand from shipping lines for us to go autonomous autonomous gantry cranes straight away. But there are issues with our financing as well. If we want to go big at phase 1, we have to go slow, and as we get the momentum, we'll start our phase 2 and get better equipments. Or perhaps we can also ask MIDA for some equipment for the upgrading and all this autonomous equipment, maybe later, Puan Habibah. And then we will have our open yard, that is the most demand, in high demand for the logistic players. Logistic park, pack houses, warehouses, we are offering all these value-added services that is not available at Padang Besar at the moment. We have storage and silos for crude palm oil, gaseous product, LPG, LNG, that is going away to Thailand and China. And at phase 2, we'll add more sidings as we go along. So the spur line is here, coming 1.3 kilometers from the double track. Maybe I should show here. This is clearer actually. This is the purple line is the existing double track that goes all the way to Gemas and Pasir Gudang, which is the final end there. That is not completed in Johor. This stretch will be connected by a 1.3 spur line to Perlis Inland Port. So this will be borne by the federal government via NCIA. The tender for this has been called earlier in the year, and I've been told that on the 8th of September, recently, they have already identified the winner for the tender for the spur line. So it's just a matter of time in September that we will know who will get this job. To us, it doesn't matter who gets it, as long as there is a spur line to our facility. If not, will be an island there. So the spur line here, the bonded road already awarded in February, and they will complete in April 2024. Whereas the spur line and the flyover here, so that the road will be over the spur line, and the internal infrastructure will be ready in Q4 2024. So ASTI is here, right opposite of us, UniKL ASTI, 60 acres of land, where they will have a teaching campus, a teaching campus for logistics. So below us is the Chuping Valley Industrial Area, as I mentioned earlier. So the first 500 acres is happening just below us. We told NCIA that do the land next to PIP as the last component of the Chuping Valley Industrial Area, just in case we might need to expand further down. Sounds a bit too ambitious, but we said just in case, who knows, right? How the market reacts, and at that time, this land will be taken already, so we told them do the one below. So if you visit Chuping Valley right now, the integrated business center is ready. There's a meeting room there, there's a 25-room hotel, there's office space. The industrial park is about to complete in October, so there is something happening already. So I would welcome the rest of the members of CILT to visit. We don't mind hosting for the second time. We had an entourage earlier in, was it August, Dr. Hadina? It was last month, right? August. Just for the sake of comparison between what we have right now, in Padang Besar, the facility is tailor-made for 150,000 with the additional improvement made the last few years, and it is already operating beyond their capacity. They are going more than 130,000 TEUs already. And 12 acres land, they can only do so much, just load on, load off, whereas with our 500 acres land, we will have value-added services. When we visited Lat Krabang, we saw that even the maintenance, the engineering, maintenance and repair of containers is a big business itself. They take big tract of land because the reefers need refurbishment, they need maintenance services all the time to make sure that the reefer operate at optimum and continuously throughout the journey of the container. So there are areas that we believe Penang Port, let's say if they are short of space, which we actually highlighted to Penang Port, that they can make use of our land in Perlis Inland Port so that Penang can free up their land for yards maybe, to add more rail sidings, and the superfluous or not so important activities can be transferred to PIP. So we could be a staging area for the ports which is congested or in the need of more space. So we will have staffing and destaffing, packing, repacking. This could be like a break bulking or distribution center, if you like. All sort of things that you might not be able to do in the precious, in the precious land in Penang, let's say. So we are also offering not just containerized cargo, although that's the thing for now. Everybody wanted to be in ISO containers, even LNG, but there are also some demand for gaseous product for the South Thailand market. So we are catering for that. South Thailand market has like 500,000 ton of LPG demand. So not big enough, but we will cater for whatever requests. So there are actually liquid and dry bulk facility here. We will have free stackers just like Padang Besar, but as we go along, we will bring RTGs, RMGs, all those autonomous gantry cranes, electric vehicles, autonomous electric vehicles, as we go along in our business in phase 2 and phase 3. Employment-wise, we will have more than what Padang Besar offer right now, because there are, okay, I have 2 more minutes because I have so more packing and repacking, so there are more need for manpower there. There are still human touch needed in terms of labeling and all that, to custom duties, labels and all that. Still a quite big number of manpower needed there. So a bit of picture there. We have the new checkpoint here. Warehouses, about 2 million square feet. All the cranes that will make the turnover faster. I'll try to make it faster. I have 1.5 minutes. Here, I'm sure a lot of you have been reading the news, China has actually gone to London via rail since 2011. So now focus is more towards Kunming, Vientiane. There's some incentive given by Chinese government to their logistic players to make use of this rail connectivity. I don't know how much they are giving to this per box, but apparently there are incentives. So we hope that with PIP, we are ready to serve this new network, and we hope we stand to benefit from what's happening in our neighboring countries. I can skip this one. The key infrastructure, of course, the critical mass for this, we need external infrastructure by NCIA, it's done. Internal infrastructure by us. Digital infrastructure are currently being put to us by the various shipping lines and logistic companies so that we can use their facility, their network. So we will look into that. We are also targeting about 2.8 million market. The market, of course, is bigger, but this market, the 2.8, is the one that is addressable by PIP. We need to capture probably about 8 to 9% for us to be good for the second phase. We are also looking at Sumatran cargo. We asked Penang to be more aggressive getting Sumatran cargo to Penang, because what we learned is that there are about 60% of Sumatran produce are actually end up in China. So we hope that our ports, whether it's Port Klang or Malacca, because they're close to Dumai, they can bring more cargo into Malaysian network to be sent to China. So we stand to benefit as the hub in Perlis, inshallah. This is fresh from yesterday's trip. This is the ongoing work on the bonded road. We had Ms. Pensom from Ministry of Foreign Affairs Asia Desk from Thailand that visited our facility yesterday. Also Mr. Rashada Jiwalai, Consul General of Thailand in Penang. So they visited this bonded road just to see what's going on Malaysia side, so that they can also reciprocate on the Thai side. So yeah, this is to us, this is something that we've been looking forward for the last 4 years. So it's actually happening now, and hopefully we can complete the construction by 2024, end of 2024. Now we can't wait for it to begin. At first, we have other worries, financing and all that, but now we have to wait for that 2-year construction period. I think that's about it. That's my, this is my last slide. The status I've already mentioned, completion. Key takeaways that I can figure out for the members of the floor today is that PIP will be able to host you to do business, whether cross-border or for Malaysian market. We welcome you there. International companies are looking at our place as well. We could be a staging area for space-constrained Malaysian ports. We could be a captive logistic infrastructure for Chuping Valley Industrial Area. So there are logistic players that assist factories into their procurement and all that. There is a ready facility as of October next year, and it is captive with our logistic solution. So this is another place to invest in Malaysia, apart from the usual Selangor. Selangor, I think, can offload some business to us a bit. You have so many, 45% of Malaysian economy is in Selangor. You need some green areas too, Cik Nik Isudin. We hope to champion cross-border trade from current 2021-23 billion. As mentioned by our Prime Minister, we need to increase this to 30 billion by 2025. That's another 2 years down the road. So without PIP, I doubt that this will be achievable. Although when we built it, this was not in our mind, but the timing is just right. So PIP to facilitate connectivity between Kunming and Singapore. PIP project as an example of, I would say, a successful journey so far between a public and private sector. It's a PPP that can be of example if there is a case study needed for that from the academia. And this is special because it is a rail-related development in terms of infrastructure. Most of the time, infrastructure is done solely by the government, but now it is done by the private sector. So it's a tall order. We felt it is when we first embarked on this, but when we look at Perlis and the need for such development, we just took the risk, and now that's where we are right now. So I think that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Cik Wan. You know, railway is something that I love. In fact, Datuk Chan and me, we worked on the first Malaysian land bridge services from Port Klang to Bangkok. So it's nice to see this coming back again. And I think one of the best things, the way you have the public-private you know, partnership in this to make this a great success for the country. It will really take a lot of carbon emission levels off. So I know everybody is ready to have lunch and network and all that. We just have one more video where we would like to show you from our host. And presenting this video will be Mr. R.V. Lingam. Over to you. So there is one more video that we'd like to take a look at from Perlis Inland Port. So we'll run that video before we go to our host video as well.
we are offering two programs, Diploma in IT and Bachelor in IT. The last one, which is the business school, we have up to the MBA, but we're only offering the internship until the bachelor student, which is BBA and also Diploma in Business. So basically, currently, we already have 212 companies almost with us for this internship program. And we are looking for more because what? Because we are keep growing in terms of the students' population in MASD, especially in our logistics, right? And I have one special video for all of you. You might ask, can I ask a very quick question to all of you? Please show us a peace symbol to me. If there is from you, from your company or from your own company, there is no experience recruiting or taking interns. If you no experience taking any intern in your company, please show me your piece. Only one so far. The rest you have experience. Now, I'm going to show you a short video. This student, Chamor Kantan, 3 months of our internship. So this short video will show you what are the benefits partners from the internship companies. Right, let's play the video. And she took, luckily she's been offered the supply chain, especially the inventory side. The video.
Hi, my name is Nur Afika binti Azman and I will be sharing my internship experience at Hume Sandboard Industries here in Perak. Hume is a manufacturing company that produces fiber cement boards that is made out of pulp, cement, other additives, and water. They have about 10 variations of products with different widths and lengths, and their customers can also request their own specific dimensions that is appropriate for their business needs. On my first day, my supervisor asked for my help to optimize, rearrange, and implement FIFO into their current storage warehouse. At the moment, in their storage warehouse, their products are separated into two, which is made to stock and made to order. And they also uses randomized storage. Hence, my job is to rearrange, create designated areas, and also implement FIFO for the made to stock items, which has 12 SKUs. And for that, it will create an optimized storing process, picking process, and when they want to do a stock take, it will make their job a bit easier to find the made to stock items. I did my internship for 3 months and I successfully created the layout along with the help of my colleague, Mr. Rosli. We created the designated areas for the 12 SKUs and we also implemented an in and out as to create the first in, first out FIFO, and we submitted it to my supervisor and also the head of supply chain management. But sadly, because of time constraints, I didn't get to see it in implementation phase, but I did successfully create the layout and my supervisor is satisfied. That's all for my internship sharing. Bye-bye.
We're going to have a short photo shoot with everybody on the stage. MUST guys will be arranging the chairs and for the photo shoot just before the lunch, because some of us are going to leave immediately after the lunch, yeah? So MUST guys, please assist, mobilize.
Everybody is going to be included in the photo session. So we're arranging chairs for the VIPs. Then we would like all of you to join us on stage. Yeah.